Hello Moonbeams and welcome to this January what decks I'm using, and also it's a bit mixed in with my tarot system as well, because I'm introducing a new tarot kind of way of logging and journaling my tarot this month. So stick around and see what decks I'm using and how I'm going to journal and log all of the practice. So the first deck I'm going to go through is a deck that I've actually had in purgatory for a while, and this month is the last ditch attempt to use this tarot before I move it on to somewhere else. This is the Dreamscapes tarot, and I do love it, but being of a certain age, I'm 45 now, my eyesight can't handle all the little details. I have ordered a magnifying glass and that will be coming soon, so that will help. But also, I don't get on with this deck as much as some of my others. It doesn't really kind of call to me when I read with it. It's kind of a bit flat with me. And maybe it's because I haven't used the guidebook a lot, or I'm not quite sure, but usually I can pick up a deck, and if it's Rider-Waite-Smith kind of vibe, I can kind of pick it up. I mean, the artwork is beautiful, the artwork is stunning, and I got this as a winter deck, like winter spring deck, and it is absolutely beautiful, but there's something for me that's missing, that connection with it, and it just feels like there's a lot going on for me, and I get I can't really zone in on something because I'm getting bogged down by all the details. But I don't know whether that's actually the reason, because I do have the Surrealist Tarot and that is packed full of stuff and I can get over that. But I think that's because it's my vibe in terms of artwork. So it is a beautiful deck. So what I'm going to be doing is most of my daily draws are going to be using this for the month. And so what I do is in the morning, I will draw my cards, I will write them in my planner, and then the next day when I come to draw the cards again, I will go over the day before and see if it resonated, how it resonated, put my thoughts. Sometimes I will, if I get an immediate hit and some message comes through, I will immediately write that down. But I kind of, at the moment, I'm experimenting on doing it the day after, as a reflective exercise on the day, because I tend not to have the brain for tarot in the evening. So I do most of my tarot work in the mornings, when my brain is a bit more functioning. I have a dynamic disability, which means sometimes by the end of the evening, brain fog has absolutely completely taken hold of my saying this as the Emperor's up there, has taken up all of my functions, and I've used up all my spoons that day. So I tend to think the next day it gives me some time to reflect, it gives me some time to move. So I'm going to be using this for the whole month of January, or as long as I can kind of keep going with it, and see if it kind of redeems itself, becomes, a loved deck. Otherwise it'll be passed on somewhere else. And it is a beautiful card deck. The card quality is a bit thin because it's Llewellyn deck, but it's got a really good guidebook and it's got like a big beautiful box. I'd rather, you know, Llewellyn spent the time on the cardstock, you know, making it like less glossy and, you know, a bit thicker cardstock than concentrating on the box and the booklet and having the big booklet. But hey ho, we can't have everything. Yeah, so, and to like chronicle my daily reads, I have this year diary. I bought this in honor of my mother-in-law because the diary I had last year, which had my daily readings in, she bought it me for the previous Christmas, so Christmas 2024. She bought me a diary, and that was always on my desk, and sadly she has passed away, so we've nicknamed this book, because I used to write everything in this, we've nicknamed this book in honor of her. So I've picked a color because she loves purple. I've picked a color that kind of to honor her, and to also, I like this marbling effect. It kind of gives me if anybody's seen the series Loki in season 2, the kind of gold foiling and things like that, it gives me that vibe. So every day, like, I've got my cards there and everything. So I will also like underline if it's my card of the year. So if it pops up at the moment, my card of the year for 2026 is the Hierophant, so I underline that. And then if any other readings, like my weekly or my monthly read, has a card repeat, I will note that down as well. And I will also note which tarot, like I've done my full moon reading and I used a different tarot for that, and note it at the top. And today was the Dreamscapes, so I note it in. I also note what my card of the month is and read that day, so I will skip it. So yeah, that goes in this journal. So the next deck I will be using this month is a new one in my collection. This was in my tarot reflections video, and this is the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud and Jessica Macbeth. And I absolutely, I've got a card, this was my card of the day. I absolutely love this deck. I saw this on like TarotTube. I really need to find out whose video it was that I watched where I saw this, and I was like, I must have this deck. This deck is absolutely just up my alley. It's really, really good. I really love it. It's got a huge guidebook. I have to be careful because there is some nudity in here. I don't think I've picked up the guidebook, but the guidebook is hardback, like full novel almost. It's got so much in it. So what I'm gonna do starting now is I am going to pull a fairy every single day, and I'm going to try and do that throughout the year. I might change my oracle deck if I kind of go through and but in order to kind of learn this deck as well, I feel like I need to spend a lot of time with it. There is 65 cards in here, so 65 different fairies and fae kind of folk. This has got very much fae energy. It's a very particular deck. I got this card 2 days in a row and I was like, oh my god, it's got a cheeky vibe to it. I love it. I bought this copy secondhand, and I was really pleased with, I could get it secondhand, I could get it for a really reasonable price. I think the box has only got a little like ding in the top. So that's the only damage that's kind of there. But I'm not planning on ever getting rid of this deck, I don't think. I think this deck is going to be very much part of my collection. Just because the artwork is beautiful and it is such a good deck. So I'm going to be pulling a fairy for the day and then writing the definitions in another planner that I keep this downstairs, so I keep this downstairs, so in the morning I can pull who my fairy for the day is and I can write that down in the planner. So I've got that downstairs, whereas here I'm upstairs in my tarot cave. I have all my other things there. But it is such beautiful. The artwork is stunning. The detail in the guidebook is absolutely immense. It's huge. It's like a colossal guidebook, and it's just such a good one. If I feel like I've gone through everything I can with this deck and I've kind of really gotten to know it kind of back to front, I might swap for another oracle deck, but at the moment I'm quite happy to pick a fairy a day, because if it's 65, that's over 2 months. That's still gonna be, there's gonna be a cycle, and hopefully I can get through the majority of them, if not all. And that, I think it would be nice. The only qualm with this is it would be nice to have like a keyword that would just help if you're reading it kind of more intuitively, rather than kind of learning or using the guidebook and things. It has a very particular energy. I usually cleanse my decks before I use them, and this was like, no, straight away pick me. Like, it gave me the direction not to cleanse it, not to pick, not to kind of spend that time that I would usually have with a deck. It was like, pick a card now. And also it's a very, I develop like little, they're like family, my tarot decks. So I give them names and they have peculiar quirks. Like, some are very blunt, some are very kind and nurturing. And this doesn't like being riffle shuffled. Every time, I don't riffle shuffle, I like sideways shuffle, but I call it riffle shuffling, because it's a similar principle. I want to do, go to do my sideways shuffle, and this deck goes, nope, you're not doing it. So I have to figure out, like, I can overhand shuffle it, but I have to think of different ways of being able to split the deck up, if you get what I mean. But yeah, it's got a little bit of nudity in there, but yeah, it won't let me do the whole I'm not gonna show you, but it won't let me do the whole, it doesn't like me doing the whole, shuffling together like that. It likes being handled a bit more delicately. So with this, I have another planner that I have downstairs that I'm using to record that, and it is this beautiful diary. So this is the 2026 Lunar and Seasonal Planner by Stacey DeMarco. I've got a few of Stacey DeMarco's decks. One is coming up in a bit, and I love her work, and it's got so much information about witchcraft and spells and everything in there. So it's a really good, it's like a 2-for-1. It's got beginning of the year, like affirmations, things like that. So I've filled in, I might have to blank a little bit, but I filled in, and this is just for my fairy of the day. If I want to pull a tarot card, I have a tarot card set downstairs as well. So if I want to do an end of the day reflection card, I can do, and I will put it in here. But I haven't really felt the need. I've just, again, gone back to it the day after, and if anything kind of comes up, I will add into it. So this is a beautiful, beautiful book. It's got spells in there. It's got everything. And this was kindly bought for me by a very dear friend, Bex. She is my witchy sister, and we are kind of on this like witchy journey together. And yeah, she got me this, and it's absolutely perfect. It's quite big, but it lives downstairs, and this is for my fairies or my oracle picks of the day. Now, the next deck is a deck that I've had in my collection since I reignited my love for tarot, which I started my tarot journey 19 years ago. I spent a couple of years, I had a couple of decks that I would use, and then the children, it's got kind of frantic, and I put it away for a bit. You know, move forward a couple of years, I pick it back up, and this is one of the first decks I picked, which is the Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinane, and I love this deck. So I haven't used it in a long while. It must be about a year, or at least a year. And suddenly at the beginning of the year, when I was doing my month ahead read, it jumped out and it said, use the Crow deck, use the kind of less dark Crow deck, which is this one, because I've got the Murder of the Crows deck as well. I've also got the Raven's Dream. Can you see a theme coming on? Anything with crows, anything with ravens, if I like the artwork, it's in my, you know, it's going to go in my collection. So if anybody knows of any like obscure crow or ravens decks that you know, are mass market that we don't know of, let me know. Again, I struggle with indie because it's so hard with shipping to get it over and everything like that. And a lot of the time, you know, my indie deck, the only indie deck that I have or is very, very precious, so that is saved for special readings, which is my Raven's Dream. But this, I could have this in the pocket size as well, because it is such a good deck. It's such a good reader. It's very honouring of the Rider-Waite-Smith. I tend not to gravitate towards the Rider-Waite-Smith. I know there's a lot of people that are kind of Rider-Waite-Smith Puritans and like the kind of that artwork is traditional. I do have a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but I tend not to use it for readings. I tend to use it more for like for studying and for when I'm doing like teaching and things like that. But I just love, you know, a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, and I've been using this on my TikTok readings as well. So I've been doing month ahead readings and year ahead readings with this, and it's been a really good read. It's a really good reader. It's a really good all-round reader, and it's not, it gives the message it needs to give. It can be kind and gentle when it wants to be, but it also can have, you know, if something needs to be said, it will come out. And I just love it. It's just got such a lovely energy. So I'm using these for my month ahead readings at the moment. So this was my January month ahead deck that I used. I've done some year ahead readings with a smaller overview read. I've done that for some friends, and I've used this deck. I do have private readings available, so if you want to know your month ahead or your year ahead, you know, give it a look. I do one where it's 12 cards for each month, not 12 cards for each month of the year. That would be horrendous. One card for each month and an overarching card as well, like to sum up the year. So for example, my overarching card is a Hierophant this year. So I'm going to be doing a lot of learning. Knight of Pentacles, I so relate to this card. I'm a bit of a workhorse. Yeah, so I do have them available in my private shop that I do, but I've also been doing month ahead readings and year ahead readings on live on TikTok as well. And yeah, it's been it's been lovely to reconnect with this deck. It is slightly on the bigger side, but I've gotten used to this size now with this in terms of your standard tarot. Like if you've got the Dreamscapes there, it is slightly wider and slightly bigger. I mean, you could cut it down, but I don't struggle shuffling this because the cardstock is kind of a medium quality. I don't tend to struggle shuffling this. It's just when the cards are, you know, oracle size. This is probably standard. Looking at my oracle. Yes, just a bit smaller than oracle size. So this is kind of the biggest size I can kind of go to in terms of my hands. Because it gets uncomfortable with my hands, and as I said, I struggle with a dynamic disability that means like my hands do get quite painful if I'm shuffling a lot with a deck that's bigger than I can kind of handle. So yeah, I've been using this for my month ahead and my weekly readings, and it's lovely. It's wonderful. So we're going back to the old classics, I think, this January, going back to my old classics in my collection or things that I've had. Again, I've had the Dreamscapes for a year. I've had it quite a while. And so it's just revisiting the old, because otherwise we'd end up with lots of tarot decks not being used. And I don't ever want to get to the point where I've got something in my collection that's just there gathering up dust. I want to kind of use them. I want to alternate, because I struggle with getting distracted very easily. Having lots of different decks really helps me, and I like to be able to rotate them. I do have my favorites, but if I used my favorites all the time, every day, I have at least 3 decks out like every month or couple of weeks that I can kind of alternate between. I would get bored if I used the same deck over and over again. And I think that's possibly why I have a bit more of a struggle with the Rider-Waite-Smith, because it's the same imagery. And I think that's possibly where I am very, you know, I'm neurodivergent. I need that, you know, new and exciting itch to be scratched. So that's why I rotate all my collections around. You can tell it's been used because I've been putting some in upside down. But yeah, this is and probably lots of on TarotTube have seen it, the Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinane. It is absolutely a lovely deck, and I've been using that for my monthly and weekly, possibly weekly readings. And the way I document it, I've got this it's like a traveler's notebook. This is by Dilutions. So Dilutions is a stamping kind of ink paint company. I was into art journaling and making things, and Dilusions, I had a lot of Dilution stuff, including I had a lot of Dilutions books and journals, and including the covers for them. So this is like a traveler's notebook, and it's got, you know, your cords that you can attach your booklets in. So this is my spell oils book. So this is where I'm like learning about making my own spell oils and things like that. And this is my current monthly and weekly log. I haven't even done the front cover yet, which is going to be another project for this week. So I've just got a page for my monthly, and then I've got a page for my weekly, and I go through. This takes me up into, I think, March. I think, yeah, because I don't think it was, no, this takes me up until May. So this booklet takes me up until May. I've got this booklet here, which I need to decorate, takes me up until December. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the other ones in future. I am going to be getting I won't use like 3 separate like booklets for the year. I will probably get a diary or something where it's traveler size, and I can fit, you know, I will get a bigger book or do something. But I was experimenting. I had these books in my craft stash, so I thought, why not use them? I'm not using them for art journaling. I've not been art journaling for a long time. Why not use them? I've been using the papers that I've got, the stickers and things like that. Too. I just love this. You know, life was meant for a great adventure. So true. It's just easy artwork for me. So yeah, I'm gonna if you look, I'll be making a kind of cover page a bit like this. This is like my spell oil recipes. I'll be doing the same for that, and I'm logging them in there at the moment. And it seems to be working quite well. So the Crow Tarot will probably be used for that reading. However, there is another deck that I am going to start using if I'm using the Crow Tarot more for client readings, and when I'm live, I am going to be doing my weekly. And I didn't do my monthly in this. I've done my full moon read with this deck, and I'll probably start rotating it into my dailies if I get bored with the Dreamscapes tarot. And this is one of my new decks. This is the Bone, Stone and Earth Flesh Tarot by Avalon Cameron, and art by my favourite artist, Anna Torian. You know, Anna Torian and MJ Cullinane are my top 2 artists. Patrick Valenza as well. They're like, I would say they're my top 3. I can't really you know, flip between, say, which is my top and which is my third, but they're artists that I really gravitate to all of their work. So when this came out, it was in the basket. I love this deck. I've got a walkthrough of this deck on my channel as well. It's like the Tower of the Abyss, but in colour, with this beautiful watercolour. And for me, I'm not keen on colourful decks, but I love this because it's got that watery, it's not overly colourful where it needs to be. Like here, you've got the colour there, and the rest is kind of more muted. I think it puts the colour where it needs to be. And I'm gonna really enjoy like reading all these tales that are associated with it. Like the guidebook, I've gone on about this before in my review. The guidebook is thick. It is a really big, you know, comprehensive deck. It's a comprehensive deck. It's got journal prompts, it's got the narrative behind the card, it's got correspondences, it's got inner reading, you know, as a person, if it's a court, you know, reversed, everything. It's got everything you kind of need. And I think this would be a good beginner's tarot deck if you're not, I always say buy a Rider-Waite-Smith, because that's where it really, you know, tarot was really established and where a lot of the hidden images are and things like that. You've got to kind of, it'd be like learning something and not appreciating history. Like, have a Rider-Waite-Smith to learn and study from, but also if you gel with this artwork, I think this is a really good beginner deck. I think it's beautiful. I think I think this is just as good as a deck that a lot of people rave about and I don't really kind of gel into, which is the Lightseers Tarot. I've seen the Lightseers Tarot a lot and I've never wanted to buy it. there's just something with it that just doesn't connect with me. I think this is better. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. Really controversial opinion there, but I just think this is absolutely beautiful and amazing, and it's got the same kind of bright vibe as the Lightseers. I think obviously the Lightseers it's taken it into a modern perspective, and I understand that. It just, there's something that I don't, and a lot of people rave by it. My mentor uses it, loves it, and it just doesn't like do something for me. And maybe that's what I need to kind of look at and think, well, why does it not, why do I not have a connection with it? But I'm not the type of person that would buy a deck purely just to experiment in why I don't like it. I haven't got the funds for that. I'm looking after the kids, and my private readings and my readings on TikTok, that pays for my ability to buy decks. So when I'm buying decks, I'm buying a deck that I know I want. I'll have done lots and lots of research on it. I will have watched countless YouTube videos and everything. Like, at the moment, I really want the Labanco tarot, and I'm seeing everybody raving about it, and I'm seeing it there, and I'm gonna spend I've got the ability to get it, but I'm gonna spend some time stepping back and thinking, do I really want it, or am I just getting blown up with the hype? So I will add things to my wish list, and I will add them to, I've got 2 wish lists, so one that you can see and one that you can't see, and I will move it onto my, if I'm not sure, I'll move it onto the wish list that people can't see. And then if I'm really like, oh yeah, I do really like it, I do really want it, I wouldn't mind, if somebody were to get it, I put it onto my wish list. And then when I've got the funds, I kind of go down the wish list and make the purchases. I've got decks on there that have been, like the Earth and Bone has been on there for over a year, and I keep moving it back and forth between, do I want it, do I not, where is it going to fit and stuff. And other decks have kind of come in and been more my style and taken over. So yeah, this was a no-brainer. I just had to get it, and I'm so glad I did. It's such a beautiful, I love this for the 9 of Swords. Such a beautiful deck. It is like amazing, and it doesn't shy about having that the harder cards. It doesn't shy away from it, like there with the sword. Yeah, so I'm going to be keeping this for a while, working with it, because I need to go through the guidebook and look through it and everything like that. So this is going to be one that I spend a lot more time with, getting to know, reading the guidebook and kind of connecting with. But it is such a beautiful deck. So if I have something happens and I want to do a reading on a situation, I'll probably use this. And then any extra readings that I do, or I pulled some cards after my live and thought, what do I need to consider after that live, and I pulled some cards and I use this. I tend to log them in a notebook. So I've got this composition notebook. So it's just a composition notebook, lined paper, your standard kind of exercise book style thing. And I have added, obviously, the title. I've added my crow stickers. I've got crow stickers on the back, and I plan to, throughout the year, add more and more crow stickers to the thing, so it'll be full. I don't like to kind of do it all at once. So yeah, so in here I have readings that kind of just come up where a situation's happened and I want to ask the cards or ask about something. It will go in here. I also keep my, hence why it's kind of dark and moody, this is the main log that I use to log my deity work. So I work with deities. I worked with Hecate. I work with her regularly. I've worked with Aphrodite. She was there right from the beginning. I just didn't realize. Aphrodite was right there from the beginning, and at the moment I'm working a lot with Freya, and I have worked with other deities as well. And if I do a reading, channeling and asking that deity, what do I need to do, what do I need to know, what do I need to move through, I will note it in here. This has also got my 12 card year spread in there as well, and I've written it in a way, it's also got drawings. I've written it in a way so that you can kind of, I can fill each month in as I go along. So I've got my card of the year, sorry, I've got my card of the year there, and then I will add to it on that page. But yeah, it's this is kind of my main tarot journal, and I'll just keep going until I fill it. I did have another journal that I'd filled, and once I'd filled it, I just put it away. That did also have like names and lists of people who I've read for, but now I've got my own little book. This was a book that's been in my possession for over 20 years. I was a big, or I am a big Audrey Hepburn fan, but I was obsessed with the film Breakfast at Tiffany's, so I had to buy everything that was to do with Audrey Hepburn. And I got this book and I thought, right, I'm not going to write in it, it's cool, you know, it's part of my Audrey collection. And I put it in a box and I put it away, and I never used it. And now I've gone and sorted out the box, sorted out all the memories. This came out and I went, and it's quite sun bleached because it's been sat near a window. I thought, oh well, I can just log whoever gets a reading in here, so you can see. So I've got a book to log who I read for, and then I can keep track of who's had readings throughout that time. So yeah, I am absolutely so excited to be using the Bone Stone and Earth Flesh Tarot. There will be another unboxing video coming up. It will probably be the Somnia Tarot, because I've got a list I'm working my way through. Also, it was my birthday a couple of days ago, and I was fortunate enough to get from my dearest husband the Surrealist Tarot and the Ukiyo Tarot. So again, they will be coming on to so it's a little bit of a mini haul. They will be coming on to the channel as well. I absolutely love the Surrealist Tarot. I've already had a look and it's so up my alley. The Ukiyo I'm really excited to use as well, because again, it's a little bit of a different style for me, but I wanted to kind of diversify into not just having dark crow decks or spooky decks and things like that. So I've got lots of different options. So they are the two that I got for my birthday. I'm still working through the Christmas list. Now, finally, the last deck I want to go through is a oracle that I've been using for my on my live. I do 1 card pulls, so everybody who's following gets like a 1 card for the day, what they need to know. And this is my moon, this is the Goddess of the Moon oracle, not to be confused with the Moonology oracles, which I also use for daily pulls, but this is Stacey DeMarco's Goddess of the Moon oracle. You'll have to forgive the light shine. And I use this for my daily daily pulls with people, so it gives you the keyword, and I usually jump off from that and jump off with the imagery. I know this deck like really well, and I have a vibe with it. I also have the Goddess of the Sun Oracle. I use that if I'm kind of get tired of this deck, I switch over to the Sun. I have a couple of others that I use quite religiously, that I think I know kind of very well, and I know the imagery inside out. It's not just about like reading the guidebook, it's being able to constantly look and see what's in the imagery and things like that, and it usually gives me a psychic kind of springboard to jump in and do a little mini reading for people. So this is and I love that card, see the beauty in everything. This is the moon, forgive me, I've got my words mixed up, the Goddess of the Moon Oracle. Yeah, I think brain fog is setting in a tad bit earlier today, just because we've had to navigate the snow here in the UK. I'm up in the north, so the north of the UK has had some snow. We've had a quite a thick dusting, but yeah, I do love this deck. This is a go-to oracle deck of mine. I'll use it to clarify things, and it speaks really, really clearly. It speaks really, really clearly. And it's really good for like the very quick one card pulls for people to get like quick messages. Another oracle I will probably use this month, because I always use it, and it is again another tried and tested one that I can go back to time and time again. It's a favorite. This is the Moonology Manifestations Oracle. So I have the Moonology Manifestations, I have the original Moonology, and I also, which is a bit battered and I need to replace, and I've been reluctant to replace it. And I also have the Moonology Messages as well. I don't get on with this one as much as I do with this. I don't know whether it's because the artwork is a bit, I don't know, different, but I really love this deck. This is such a good clarifier reader. It'll just give you exactly where you need to be. So it's a lovely oracle deck that I will definitely use this month, because I use it near enough at least once a month when I go live. And yeah, I'm not as much of an oracle girly as I am a tarot girly. I'm a tarot girl through and through. But I do love these oracles, so I'm very, very picky when it comes to my oracles, because I have to be able to kind of connect in with the image, connect in with what it says, and then I kind of build my own kind of responses from them. I do look at the guidebook, but sometimes I read the guidebook and I forgot it, 2 minutes later. The things that I need to kind of have usually stay. And everything else just kind of gets lost in the fog. So I'm hoping to learn more about astrological correspondences this year. I'm wanting to learn more with the astrology and everything, so this is a good deck to help me with that as well. Definitely I'm wanting to learn more to do with astrology, and I think obviously having the things like new moon in Scorpio, having the symbols there will help me get to know it. So yeah, this is the Moonology Manifestations. It is just a really nice little deck, and I'm gonna finally finish off with another oracle deck that I've been using with my year ahead reading. So this has gone really well with the Crow Tarot, because it is the Crow redo Oracle by MJ Cullinane. Now you can get a mass market version of this deck, but there is not as many cards. This has got 80 cards in, so this is a, you know, this is a hefty deck. And this is the small size, so I got the small size because you know, hands. And this is such a good clarifier with all of my kind of crow decks. It's a really good clarifier with any kind of tarot deck as well, but again, the keywords just really help, and the images that have been created just really kind of just help. I don't really need the guidebook. It just really like helps flow and get that intuition going on. Like, I love this deck. It is such a beauty, and I bought this with my Raven's Dream tarot, and I'm so glad I did. I bought this because it would have been cheaper to get this and the Ravens tarot together and have with the postage. So next time I see, because at the moment I really want the Coastal Crow tarot by MJ Cullinane. I really like it. I really love it. But at the moment, the price for shipping is nearly as much as the deck price. So I've got to kind of think about, well, is there another tarot deck or oracle deck that could go with it that I could reduce the shipping cost? But at the moment, we'll see. I do think I have, you never have too many crow decks, but you know, a lot of people might say you've got too many crow decks, Nick. But yeah, I just love it. It just covers everything, and it's such a good way to clarify the tarot, because they link just so well. Yeah, so this is the Crow Redo, like pocket edition, and it's really good cardstock, matte, fabulous. Like, I do really love this. So it's such a good deck. I love this. I love this card. I was looking at this the other day. Like, he's taking the opportunities, having the crisps there. That's the easy option. He doesn't realize the sandwich might have more nice things in, but he's got to dig for it. And then he's not noticing the little bunny there, and it's almost like it's just so layered with her artwork. There's so many things you could read into it and look into it. And what looks like some weird symbol there, like an eye. I need my magnifying glass. It's almost like, you know, the little bunnies can't see what's going on. And yeah, and the crows in the top. It's such a layered artwork that you always get something different every time you kind of read with it, or a different vibe. So I absolutely love this. Again, the distraction, like the crows distracting the dog and they're going up. It's just really kind of easy to read there, and I love this. So that is the Crow Redo, the Urban Crow Redo Pocket Edition. So that's about it, guys. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this video. Please, if you could, like and comment. Let me know what decks you've been using this month in January, or you're planning to use January. Also, let me know about your tarot systems, what you do. Is there any similarities? I do feel like I've almost bitten off more than I can chew. I've gone full force with the diaries and the books and everything, and I'm not very good with planning. I used to have a bullet journal and I never kept up with it. But I think with my tarot practice, I think it's going to incentivize me to keep going and to keep pushing through, and hopefully I will you know, learn something about myself by doing this. And it's also going to get me using my decks a lot more, because apart from on Sundays when I'm live on TikTok and any private reading that might come about, I don't get to read as much. So now I'm making that conscious effort to go, I'm going to read for myself. I'm going to learn and study the tarot through my own perspective and my own lens, because it's great doing readings for other people. It's absolutely amazing. And I love helping people, but also you've got to like look at yourself. So there's still some shadow work I want to work through and things I want to go through this year and learn. And there's so much more with the tarot. Like the tarot, you can never stop learning. At the moment, I'm reading the book Your Tarot Court. I'll try and put a picture in somewhere. And that's all about the court cards, and it's really given me some great extra information. That's by Ethany Dawn. I'm also looking into tarot and the Kabbalah, like the Tree of Life, and again I want to move into astrology as well. So I'm kind of all full up for the learning at the moment, as well as learning doing spell oils and things like that in my practice, and spells and looking after kids and everything. So yeah, maybe I've bitten off more than I can chew, but you're here for the journey. You will see how it pans out. So hopefully I'll do this at the beginning of every month where I'll recap and I will go through what decks I'm using for the next month. So if you like this video, don't forget to like. If you like what you see, please subscribe. It really, really helps me. And yeah, have a lovely day and catch you later, Moonbeams.